Hi everyone, and welcome to my video series from start to stage, where I share with you my journey from the very beginning until I get on stage at what's it called? I compete naturally, the ICN state championships that will be held in Brisbane and actually being held this weekend, where I compete on Sunday in two categories, one category being the bikini category and the second being the sports model category. So girls, if you've been following my journey, last week I shared with you that I was heading into peak week. And I also shared with you that peak week meant this is where all the magic happens. Well, girls, the magic, it had to stop rather quickly. And I'll share with you what happened for me. So going into peak week, you do a thing called carb depletion. And basically you eat a lot of protein, a lot of good fats, and not much carbohydrate. Calories are reduced. You drink lots of water, or the same amount of water as you always do, and you add a bit of salt in there, and you increase your level of energy output. So you're adding in some what they call HIIT classes, high intensity interval training. And the idea is that you burn out the carbohydrate or the glycogen, the sugar that's in your muscles. You deplete the carbohydrate in your body, and then you flip and you go into a carb loading program, and that goes for a few days. And what that does is when you get to stage, you're meant to look more muscular, fuller in your muscles, and not what they call smooth on stage. So it's meant to give you a better look. So I start with day one, and being the personality I am, I'm perfect. I eat exactly as the program says. I measure, I weigh. I've had no kitchen, so I had to prepare. I ended up chicken. I was thinking, well, okay, it doesn't say anything about oil, so I poached the chicken in the fry pan in some water. The fish, you had to have a certain type of fish called hoki, H-O-K-I. It's a New Zealand fish. And it didn't say anything about cooking that in olive oil or anything. So I poached that in some water, and it seemed like salt was important, so I added a bit of salt in there. So long story short, I got organized. I cooked my sweet potato. I can't remember how I cooked that. I must have done that in the microwave, and I prepped everything. Everything was organized, everything was weighed, everything was measured. And so I went into day one, and I must say the type of food I was eating made me feel wonderful in regard to, I talk about this blood sugar thing, that, you know, people that suffer low blood sugar like me, you can sort of be on a bit of a roller coaster ride if your sugars drop. And I felt very flat. So I felt really good, really. There was no hunger. There was no ups and downs. There was no energy spikes or energy drops. It was just very calming and relaxing. And I thought, gee, I really like the way this feels. And so that was really good. And I've been writing notes here just to share with you. So that was great. And the only thing was with the HIIT, the high intensity interval training, I shared that I had a hamstring injury. And so that stopped me from doing what I was meant to do, which was sprints. So I discovered that skipping actually did not hurt my hamstring at all. So I ended up doing a 1,000 skips, and I did it in amongst some rest periods. And that was added on to my already quite extensive training. So day one was a bit of a tick. So that was all good. And then I get to day two, and day two is I wake up and can't go to the toilet. So that was a bit of a disaster for me. So I was just like, oh, that's not good. So I did something to rectify that situation. So that was all good. And I was able to increase my leg strength at the gym with my what we call hip thrusts. So I increased that weight. So I was quite proud of myself there. And all was looking great at this point. And this was Saturday. And Saturday afternoon, stuck to the plan. I was perfect. And the first thing that was a bit of a downer was I got a message from my coach's best friend that lives on the Gold Coast, and she was actually coming to support me in Brisbane on the competition day, which I was just, I was quite taken back, really. I'd never met this lady, but she's very knowing of these competition days, and she was just purely coming up to support me. She didn't have anyone in the competition. Her and her husband were having a weekend in Brisbane, and she was going to come along and just make sure I was okay, which was really lovely, help me be organised and whatever. Anyway, I got a message from her Saturday afternoon, and because the Queensland borders come out of lockdown in regard to essential workers, she is what you class as an essential worker. So she had to go back to work on the Monday, which was this Monday, yesterday, but it also meant she wasn't allowed to travel on her days off. She has to basically stay home, like they've got to sort of isolate on their days off. So that meant she wasn't allowed to come to Brisbane. So long story short is my support person on the day cancelled. And so that was okay. I thought, I'm a big girl. It's all right. I've done things by myself before. So, it was sad. Like, it was really nice to know that I had a support person. But at the same instance, I thought that's okay. Like, it's not a biggie. So that was fine. And so I kept sticking to the plan. And then I got up Sunday morning and I went out to Broadbeach, and I was walking out of the Oasis Centre toward the beach, and I noticed I felt funny. And then it was like my legs went lactic. So my legs felt like they'd done 1,000 squats and they had no strength. In fact, I felt they were just going to go from underneath me. My hands had gone completely numb, so I had no feeling in either of my hands. And as I was looking out to the car park and the beach, things were going in and out of darkness and lightness. And I thought, I'm about to pass out. And I thought, this can't be good. And I was sort of, it's just so weird, isn't it, when it happens, the things that go through your head. I was like, well, this will be really embarrassing if I just sit down here, because this is right, like in the middle of like a walkway that's lit up in a shopping centre. I didn't think I could even make it to a chair. And I thought, if I don't do something now, I'm just going to pass out. And so I just sat down. And so I sat down in the middle of the, but because it was early, there was really nobody there. So anyway, I just sat there for a moment, and then I thought, okay, your blood sugars have gone funny. What you need to do is get some sugar into you. And so what I didn't mention to you is I'd got up that morning and I jumped on the scales, because I could feel for the past 2 days that my body was losing weight. I could feel it. And I don't really need to lose weight. You might remember me saying I didn't really want to lose weight in this journey. In fact, I was sort of maybe sometimes putting a bit on. And I'd gone down 2 kilos in 2 days. And I was like, that's a lot of weight in 2 days. Anyway, so here I am in the Oasis Centre. I sat there and I gone, okay, I need sugar. And I noticed a young girl was setting up in the cafe, putting the sugar things on the table. And so I made my way over to her and I just said, look, I'm feeling really dizzy. I do suffer from low blood sugar. Do you think it would be okay if I have some sugar just to make me feel better? And because I didn't have any money on me or anything. And she said, so she gave me one of those sugar sachets. I'm like, thanks, love. So anyway, so I took that 1 teaspoon of sugar and I thought, okay, Dana, you just got to get yourself home. And then running through my head was like, you can't ring Rob because he'll be in bed and you don't want to wake him up and he won't hear his phone anyway. And so you just got to get yourself home. But I went into like a bit of a panic attack because I thought I might pass out driving home, but I knew that if I just sat there, things were progressively getting worse as I was sitting there. So things weren't improving. So I was a little bit gone into panic mode, a bit into fear, and that wasn't helping me. So I remembered my breathing techniques. So I thought, Dana, you need to calm here. So I just did some really slow, deep breathing, and I got in the car and I just talked myself home, just breathe. When I got home, I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get out of the car. So I sort of did get out of the car, but I sort of had to crawl and got myself into the lounge. And I just sort of like got, okay, get pineapple out of the fridge, because I had pineapple there and the dog's barking. It wanted to be fed. And I'm like, well, bad luck. I'm more important at this moment. So I just sat there and I ate pineapple, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to pass out. I'm going to be okay. And so then I ate the breakfast that I was supposed to eat, but I just wasn't feeling good. I was feeling bad. And I ended up texting my coach at 6:45 on a Sunday morning saying, look, I'm super sorry. I know it's Sunday. However, not sure how to move forward today. So anyway, I got robbed because my gut instinct just said, get those blood sugars up. So I made him make me 2 pieces of toast with honey on it, lots of honey. So I'd had pineapple, I'd had sugar, I had honey, I had toast, and I started to feel better. So I started to come good. So everything started to subside. I felt like I could stand up. I felt like my head wasn't funny. I wasn't going to pass out. I started to get feeling back in my hands. So everything was sort of heading back into the right direction. So I feel like it frightened me so much that I spent the whole day carb loading. And so I ate like carbs all day long, but I felt like this is what my body was calling for. Intuitively, I felt like it was saying, Dana, eat energy. And so I did. I ate carbs. I just thought, just do whatever you want today. Just don't even worry about it. I ate kettle chips. I ate cheesecake, watching the grand final of The Voice. Rob and I went out for dinner, and yeah, lovely day, really. And I then not realized, but I thought, I've blown it. I've just so blown it. So anyway, my coach got on to me the next day, and interestingly, girls, carb loaded all day, ate salt, did whatever I felt like, and I put on my 2 kilos that I'd lost. So I'd gone back up 2 kilos, and I was sort of happy about that. I'm like, okay, this feels better. I feel normal. I feel good. I feel like me. So I was quite happy with that, and went back to my exercising. And my coach said, I just wish you'd followed my carb loading plan, not gone off and done whatever you like. And I said, yeah, sorry. It was just my reaction. I think a little bit of fear. I don't know. It just frightened me. I felt so bad. And I think it just made me think, this isn't healthy. I'm too old to not be healthy. And yeah. So anyway, so then I felt bad. I thought, I failed miserably. And so she said, keep me posted daily so I know what's going on. So that was yesterday morning. So I'd gone back up to my 2 kilos yesterday morning. And so then this morning I'm back down 1 kilo. So my body is doing this. So I've got back onto her, and she said, that's okay. But my eating, I've gone back to my old eating plan that I did before this carb depletion. So our plan now is we're not going to carb deplete. We're just going to carb load, and we're going to do that maybe just a couple of days before I get on stage. And this week I'm just going to keep eating in a way that's going to support my body and be what it will be. So yeah, so, I've probably blown it as far as looking like whatever on stage, but at the same time, I feel like I've supported my health, and I feel like at the end of the day, that's more important to me. So I'm okay. And then I thought, well, am I just wasting my time going up there? And then I thought, okay, Dana, that's that fear thing coming through again. You've done so much. Get up there in that bikini and, practice your posing technique and just do it, because you said you were going to do it, follow it through, and enjoy the moment. So that's where I'm at, girls. So the competition is on Sunday. So I go up there on Saturday afternoon, and you've got to get a base tan, because I was going to just get that on the Gold Coast, and apparently it can turn your body green if you use different products. So I'm like, so I've got to go to Brisbane on Saturday afternoon, come back, go back again on Sunday, and I've got to go up there early, and I'm feeling like I'm just in a quandary, I guess. I said to my husband, I'm feeling really torn between, was this all worth it or was it not? So I must keep remembering all my learning lessons that I've learned about myself emotionally and mentally. And, I do believe that doing these journeys is a crash course in self-discipline. It's a crash course in maintaining habits, like overcoming the mental thing of cravings and all that sort of stuff. And so, I believe that it does make you strong in that way. And for that, I appreciate, because it does make me feel in control, knowing that I have control. Even on Sunday, going way off plan, I still feel like at the end of the day, that was a sensible, mature decision to make. So be what it will. And so there's been lots of positives really to doing the journey. And I'm just going to enjoy what comes from it now. And there we go. So the week that was meant to turn into magic, maybe not so much so. But I'm feeling healthy, and I'm feeling so supported by everybody. A lot of you have reached out and said, good luck, all the best. I love listening to the journey. So I do want to say thank you to all of you for listening to my journey, because it is quite an alone type experience. You are by yourself. And especially in my instance, my mum has dementia, so I can't share it with her. I don't have sisters. I don't like to share it all with my daughter all the time. Like, she must just, get over me. So being able to verbalize this to this camera and have you girls all support me has been really lovely for me. So I do want to say thank you to all of you in regard to that. So I will put up photos. I may do a post-show video. I don't know. I'll see. And we'll all go from there. All right, girls. Well, thanks again for listening, sharing in the journey. Sorry it wasn't better news, but I'm going to push through, and I am going to end up on stage, and all good. All righty. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.